morning and welcome back to Teal House Farm. I just wanted to send you a note of encouragement this morning while I was out here doing my morning chores. This morning I was kind of woke up and I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Not necessarily because there's so much to do today. Actually, today doesn't have nearly as much to do as a lot of days do. But I was just looking at all the things that I want to accomplish that I still have not accomplished, and just looking around the farm and being like, oh my gosh, it's a mess. It's always a mess. And just feeling like, just kind of like a failure, you know, because it's not a picture perfect, you know, homestead. You know, my greenhouse is still not ready for fall. We actually had a tree limb, a really big tree limb. It fell on the house the other day and did a decent amount of damage, just cosmetic damage to the outside of our house. And I'm not going to show you it because it's kind of embarrassing, but our house is already kind of beat up looking, and then that happened and you're like, oh my gosh, this looks like the trashiest trash heap I have ever seen. And so I was just thinking how easy it is to get really overwhelmed. You just feel like you're failing in all areas when you're actually pretty, you know, you're doing okay if you stay and you put things in perspective. Know that, you know, today is, like I said, we don't have a lot going on, so I can actually knock out a lot of things that are going to make me feel better, like mowing the lawn. I'm going to try to fix some of that cosmetic damage to the house because some of it's just a nail and a hammer kind of problem, you know, and we should be focusing on the positive. You know, a large tree limb falling on your house, it could have taken in the roof, it could have hurt one of the kids. I mean, it could have been really scary, and none of those things are true. So, in the spirit of encouragement, I'm going to tell you 10 things that I have done this year that have been successful and that I am thankful for. And I hope that you then go, and if you're feeling overwhelmed today, you make your own list of 10 things you've done this year that were new or were challenging, and focus on those successes. Not the grass that needs to be mowed, not the chickens that need to be moved, not the house that needs to be fixed again. None of those things. Things that have been successful to help put your to-do list or your failures into perspective. Because really, I think if you sum up all of life, there are many more blessings than there are failures. And there are some seasons in life that are especially difficult. I know a lot of people are going through really hard things. You know, we even have, you know, we have our own just time and financial challenges with Sam in school right now. And, you know, every year is different. Life ebbs and flows. It's never, one situation is never really true for the always. Life is always changing. And so just encouragement not to lose that perspective in the hard times. So anyway, here we go. Here's my 10 things. Number 1, first year ever trying geese, and we have not just kept 4 alive, but they are thriving. So all the geese that we have tried, we have been successful, and it has gone really well. Number 2, in spite of how busy we are, and a little thanks to help from Papa, we have cut more wood than we need. So we have about 2 years worth of wood already stacked up, and this is the first year we have ever been ahead on wood. We have done years where we have run out of wood, and that is not a good situation to be in. So we have learned from our mistakes and we have made it better. Number 3, I built a 3-acre worth of fencing over the summer by myself. Well, I had some help from little people right there. I've never built fencing before. I've never worked with electric fencing before. And we built a paddock system with no more tools than basically our hands and a T-post digger. I don't have a tractor. I don't even have a riding lawnmower. And we got that all built, and our goats and our sheep are loving it. And this is the first time in the 6 years we've owned this property that we have actually been successful in keeping this field from being so overgrown that you couldn't even walk through it. I'm not gonna say it's beautiful. but is getting there. And I think next year, a few more goats or a couple cows on there, and it'll be a nice looking pasture. Number 4, our system for the ducks and the geese, which the goal was to reduce the mowing but give them enough room to have a decent amount of food and cut back on feed costs, has been very successful. And number 5, I grew multiple gardens this year. The greenhouse looks like trash right now. We're not going to focus on that. It was a very successful spring greenhouse. And I'll call it number 6. We had a successful tire raising of growing potatoes and growing squash out here, accidental squash actually, that did wonderfully well. Number 7, we raised sheep for the first year this year. And that was a learning experience, but they have done very well. And we are excited. We're raising them for the winter. And we're excited to have the first year where we have raised some of our own meat for the freezer. And number 8, the goats have already gone out to pasture, but I learned how to milk this year because Sam wasn't available to do it. And I successfully milked for several months, processed all the milk, made yogurt and cheese from it. It was a big endeavor. Milking is a big commitment, but I did it, even with all the other stuff going on. And I'm gonna be proud of myself for the fact that I did it, and I stuck with it until it was time to dry her off, even though life's really crazy. Number 9, we have taken Annie to more than 100 therapy sessions this year after her surgery. And Annie is doing awesome, jumping and running. And what else are you doing?
Bicycle poo.
Bicycling?
I said bicycle poo.
We don't need to talk about poo. But she is riding a bicycle, and that's awesome too. So that is a huge success. That was hard, wasn't it? A lot of work, huh? A lot of time and a lot of work. And last, we fulfilled some of my goals for reorganizing the kitchen. I took an idea I had, and with a little help from Grandpa Dan, we got the kitchen very much redone. It's a mess right now because there's dishes, but something that was causing me a lot of stress, we took an idea and we made it happen. And I'll give you a bonus, number 11. We completely overhauled our diet this year too, which was incredibly difficult to wrap my head around, but it has been very successful, and I'm glad I put the effort into doing it. So maybe in my messiness, my messy living room, messy house, messy outside of the house, maybe I can just bring you a little bit of encouragement today that you are achieving a lot of things. Give yourself some credit for all those things that you've worked hard for, wherever season you are in your life right now. Know that you're accomplishing great things no matter how long your to-do list is. That's all I have for you today, guys. Just a short one. We will see you again very soon. Bye.